Government IT workers by day, persuasion enthusiasts, and verbal cage fighters the rest of the time.
If you'd like to take your persuasion game to godlike levels, grab yourself your favorite stimulant and prepare yourself for the persuasion hit of the day. It's the Persuasion Club podcast, and it starts now. It started.
And I hear it. I'm hearing.
Welcome, folks. It's episode 27, and I thank the audience for sticking with it. So, hey, welcome, and good to see you, Stephen. I haven't talked to you in just a couple minutes, man. It's been a while, actually.
I know. Not doing our show last week, kind of felt like really weird. I feel like we haven't not done a show, so it does feel like it's been an eternity. So how are you doing, Kevin?
Oh, I am doing just fine. I'm actually really enjoying the weekend, getting some stuff done around here, and trying to catch up with just a fair amount of things that I have to do for the club. We've had quite a bit of action this week.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of things have gone really well, like a lot of progress. You've been doing things on the back end. You've been, making deals with people. We got some cool things that sound like
about it. Yeah.
Please do.
Might actually be a good time just to go ahead and get down to some business, if you wouldn't mind.
Let's do it.
Ooh. I like coffee too. That reminds me, if you'd like to take a sip, and this isn't a simultaneous, but it is to Scott. We would like to go ahead and acknowledge Scott. He's pretty much the subject of our show for the last several episodes. It's hard not to talk about persuasion without Scott. So,
cheers.
Cheers. Actually, let's go ahead and start with some of the cool. I'm going to go in a different order than I was planning to, and just remind folks that if you wanted to, you can join the show in the chat, and when you do, you have access to, hey, it's the Scott emote icon, man. And you can give us a thumbs up in the chat. You can see what it looks like there a little bit. That's with Scott emote icon. So do that, and let us know that you're listening to the show. Another way that you can help us know that you're listening to the show is to check out our socials. Like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. That helps us in every way possible, and more people will see us and join us and check us out. And that's what we want. We're here to keep the persuasion game alive. So, let's see here. I may have totally messed up and not gotten your kitty cat into the show yet, Stephen, but I do want to tell people at least how they can submit their persuader.
Yeah.
Persuasion.club/per. You could submit your cat there. It's real easy to do. Stephen knows because I had him submit his cat earlier because we didn't have any cat. And I'll slip her into the show a little bit later, even if it's in the after show, but we'll go ahead and do that. Also, yeah, because it's Happy. And if you haven't seen Happy before, you've got to see Happy. So we were talking a little bit ahead of time about some of the great things that we've been kind of working on and working out. And what I'm really excited is to tell people about our Persuasion Club radio station. We've just been kind of putting it together and piecing it together a little bit at a time. And we reached out to Akira the Don and asked him if he'd be willing to allow some of his songs to be played on the show. And he was happy to oblige. So we want to thank him for that. And you can check out
Nice.
Did that work? Did that play?
I could hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Was it a little loud? I hope it's not too loud.
No, the bottom is being cut off a little bit.
Yeah, I see that, and I could fix that a little bit here, maybe. But that'll be on the next slide here. So, Akira the Don, if you're not following, please do. You're missing out. You wouldn't want to miss out on anything. Akira does really great, catchy music that is combined with Scott Adams videos in a very cool and clever way. Basically to make motivational songs, inspirational songs and stuff like that. Definitely worth a check out. You can go and listen to him at meaningwave.com. That's his company. So go to meaningwave.com, check that out. I wanted to also talk a little bit and get a persuader of the day into our show here. So check this out. I caught this a few months ago. I thought that was pretty clever. When you don't have your own flapper or whatever they call those guys, go get your own.
The wavy arm air guy.
Yeah. But let's talk about that for a second. What do you think in the terms of persuasion techniques and the things that we've heard from Scott Adams? What might be one of the things or some of the things that he's employing there? So thinking hard of the different persuasion tips and stuff like that. Anything come to mind?
Let's
not
see.
to put you on the spot or anything. It's easy for me because I did not create the graphics.
It's visual persuasion. There's visual. There's a person out there doing an activity, so that's very visual.
Like that.
Whoa. Yes.
I think I even have. Let's see. This is even better. Make him
nice.
So visual persuasion is more powerful than non-visual persuasion. That's one of the things that we learned about actually in this particular segment of the book. So we'll come to that. But I think that's actually potentially persuasion tip 20. I can't remember. What others come to mind?
That was, I think, persuasion tip 18. Sorry, you broke up a little bit there. Sorry. As far as anything else coming to mind, not off the top of my head. I'm looking through my persuasion tips.
Okay, all right. That's okay, because I'm gonna play them for you anyway. Here, Here's another one. Display confidence, real or faked.
Yes, number 9.
Our buddy Jeff told us about that. Yeah, so Jeff Callahan did the book Confidence Maxing. We had him on our show, episode 22. Go check that out. Sure, we'll have him back again. But that flapping guy, that's a lot of confidence, man. To get out there and just kind of sit there and do that in front of people like that. Okay, that's but definitely great effort going on there. And then the general persuasion tip in general, draw attention to yourself. So that guy was doing it in style. So just have to give props to him for that one. I think we'll give him Persuader of the Week. So, all right, we're almost finished with business. I did want to also remind people that there is the Scott Adams Show. It's the Scott Adams School. They're weekdays at 10 Eastern. And this is where you get the really good stuff. So be sure to go and check out the Scott Adams School. They're on Rumble, Locals, YouTube, think on X, and I listen to them every day. If I don't catch the live show, I catch the replay. Oh, hey, they're waving. I think that's the most I've ever seen no one move. That there's a story behind that. So, all right, that's our business for now. Let's go ahead and get to the real topic at hand. So, it's Win Bigly with Scott Adams. And for folks that are wondering, we are in part 4 of the book. A reminder that part 4 is not chapter 4 because the book does not have chapters. We're doing it. And let's go ahead and give us back to a better view here. I don't know if that's any better, but it's better than it was. You
I'm
still
big.
there, Steven? I can,
Yeah.
yeah, you're a little bit bigger. So, we have, part 4, and then this is our 3rd installment of episodes about part 4. So if you can dig that, there's so much in this book that you could do multiple parts or multiple episodes on a part. So, and that's kind of what we've chosen to do. Some try to do it all in one shot. I wish them luck because there's a lot.
I don't know how you could do that. It's a lot.
I have a ton of notes, as I assume you probably do too. Was there anything that stood out to you? I think we were getting into the part where we were talking about contrast.
Yeah, I feel like the last thing I remember at the end of last, I guess 2 weeks ago, was talking about the persuasion tip 20. The people are more persuaded by contrast than by facts or reason. And then after that, we went into how to persuade by association. As far as part 4 goes, starts talking about association. But did you want to talk about contrast before moving forward?
Yeah, a little bit. We probably could. It got into a lot of the politics of the election, and it was in the section that was about how he got the VP prediction wrong, which is kind of an interesting little section. All of it, it's on its own there. He talked about the different candidates and how when a president or a presidential candidate is making their choice for VP, one of the things that you have to do is provide a little bit of contrast. And you want to make sure that your choice, I never really think about these things too often, but it makes complete sense, that you don't want people looking at your VP candidate as, well, why is that person the number 2 choice and not the number 1 choice? So they can't have more charisma than you. So in making your choice, you definitely have to make sure that there's a contrast there where somebody says, okay, I like that candidate, but they're not so and so. So I thought that part of the contrast puzzle was interesting.
Yeah, I think during the 2016 election, which I think that this is what this is about. The VP was, a pretty straight-laced, I think even like potentially Mormon, very reserved conservative person, and that is definitely the opposite and very contrast to what Trump is. Although, Trump might relate to some of the things that his VP choice clung to, but not like super directly or obviously.
Yeah. Well, there were several candidates that they went through before they landed on Mike Pence to be his running mate. And Pence was a person who had a lot of really good experience. He was like a governor and I think a senator or something along that line. So like you can't really do better than that, when it comes to a candidate. But then he didn't have like the charisma that Trump had, so it was perfect. It's like he can lead, but he's no Trump. It's kind of like the what kind of good went into that thought process, I think.
Yeah, I feel like Pence was very safe, but kind of about as interesting as a blank piece of paper. So,
exactly right.
He's not going to steal the limelight or anything like that.
Right. So that kind of thing is interesting. And then Scott said that people are, because of what we said here with the contrast, that being, and people being more persuaded by that, Scott said that people need to choose their contrast wisely. So there's a skill involved. You can't just kind of make something up. You need to be able to create that contrast in a way that doesn't get people thinking the wrong thing, or getting people thinking of other things instead of what you want. So you have to be careful how and what you contrast is, I think, the message there.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you don't want everything to be a contrast. You have to align on certain things. So that's why you should be careful what you decide to highlight as far as a contrast goes.
Right. Because you could wind up putting yourself in a trap if you're not careful. It's like, it's a trap. So you do a little contrast on something like that. But if it's the wrong contrast, it can take people down a path that you don't want to go. So don't use contrast just for the sake of contrast, I think, is probably the message there.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a comedian uses like shock and awe, or they want to shock the crowd. It's like that doesn't always land very well. You can't just appeal to people's shock factor. Sometimes you have to be more strategic than just picking a thing for the sake of picking it. You have to be more thoughtful about it. And it has to come across as purposeful or intentional, as well as smart. So not just for the sake of it being a contrast or shocking or whatever.
So practice is really what you need to be able to practice those things, or think about them before you do them. Maybe think about situations. Don't try it on live people. Maybe try it on friends. Try it on, try it in like a persuasion duel or something like that. Ooh, we haven't done that in a while. But in using the contrast principle, that we need to bring those back sometime, or do another show that's just persuasion duels or something like that, because that was kind of fun. Although it would really put you on the spot, right?
It does,
yeah. But for sure, to build up your persuasion stack and be able to do persuasion and you need to develop your ability to create contrast for people, but you need to do it in a safe zone, for sure. So let's see, what else did I have in here? Some of the contrast I thought was kind of funny when he compared. So like Reagan was a very beloved president and such, but Bush as his running mate and the vice president was not very exciting compared to Reagan. And so, but then and this is what kind of made me laugh, is that then when Bush was president, it's like, well, you can't have anybody more dynamic than me, so you have to go even lower in the barrel. So they got Dan Quayle. Yeah. So I'm sorry, but that just makes me laugh, because it's like, I don't know if you remember Dan Quayle, but that guy was boring. So,
I'm a very forgetful, because I didn't even
you're too young.
Remember so that him being a person.
Yeah. But for those that are old enough to remember, it's like, oh my God. But yeah, and that's why there was no, I don't think, because Bush was going to run again. I think they dropped Quayle from the ticket, if I'm not mistaken, but that's been a while, so I don't remember. Yeah, so that's contrast. That's all I've got for contrast right now.
Okay, that
Where
was
do we want to
good.
go next?
Talking about association, like how to persuade by
Yeah.
association, and a lot of the things that you do, the behaviors that you have, how you conduct yourself, these are all things that associate people's thoughts, and it can be positive, it can be negative, but being intentional, again, talking about intent and thoughtfulness when it comes to persuasion. Like, do you want people to relate you to, in the book, they talk about potty humor, which will make people associate you with shit, is what Scott says. Uh, so, like, in the office, if you use a lot of potty humor, people will just relate you with
Hmm.
shit. But if you bring positive thoughts into your conversations, that will help people bring or associate you with more positive vibes. So be thoughtful about how you conduct yourself, because when people think about you in the future, they're going to think, how did you conduct yourself, and associate you with that behavior. So it talks about even like wall colors will impact what you do and how you feel in a room, a specific room in your house or whatever. So just
Yeah.
association uh, is very key to. Um, there's benefits to association that you can bring in yourself when you're trying to persuade people. How do you do that?
I would say for sure it's and talk about I think I try to even do that in the room here. You can see I've got some color and some mood lighting and stuff like that, kind of part of our branding, but also part of my what makes the room a warm, happy room for me to be in, and I love being in this room because it's got a lot of my stuff and all the things like that that make me happy, and I'm sure you understand. So, and then
Yeah,
you go to work and you sit in a little tiny cubicle, you know, with the
yeah.
walls are about that high, and you have to listen to all these conversations of all these other people going on around you, and you're just like,
Oh,
man,
yeah, it's all gray and
that's
the
not my
carpet's
happy
all
place.
dark and nasty. It's just, yeah, it's totally not great. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Association.
yeah, but speaking of which, and one of the things that I had to catch myself on is because I realized that I was kind of becoming that guy, where because I have that commute, up from Eugene, 75 miles, I get to work and then bitch and moan about my commute. And, nobody wants to be around that, so I had to stop doing that.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because it's like, well, I'm always willing to listen to you, talk about your commute and things like that. But that's good. We talk about a
You're
lot more
used to
than
it.
just that. But
Yeah.
if that's all people get from you, like right away, every time they see you, yeah, that
Yeah.
can get to the point where they associate you with like, oh, Kevin's gonna complain about this and that, and maybe I'll just
Yep.
avoid eye contact for today or something. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas you make yourself fun, jovial, say hello, make eye contact, remember people's names, call them by their name. That's like a song, by the way, to just use their name in this song. And by the way, good job with Owen Gregorian. He's doing the book How to Win Friends and Influence People on his X Spaces. I got to check that out because I
okay.
picked up that persuasion tip or from that show, I believe, using somebody's name. So,
That's yeah, people do that to me, and I don't do that enough. People, every time they see me, they say my name either at the beginning or the end of however they address me, and I'm like, I like that's yeah,
that's true,
association
Steven. I don't
of
know
like
why people
people's name.
do
It's like,
that.
yeah, I know, Kevin, right? Like, I
Exactly,
need to get
Steven.
better at doing that, because it does seem to like hit harder when people use your name. You're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. If you do it appropriately and not overdo it and stuff like that, and it's a lot better than "Hey you" or or just because that almost like says I don't remember your name. And there's the problem is for me most of the time I don't remember your name. So
it can be hard to remember people's name off the top of your head, or if you don't say it enough, you're like, "What is that really their name? Like, am I going to
Right.
get that wrong? I don't want to look dumb."
Yeah. Which is why I've been practicing, speaking of association, trying to figure out ways where I can create. And I think we talked about this previously of creating mental images and associations that help me to remember somebody's name. So I was like, okay, that person looks like so and so, and that, so I'll try to, yeah, I don't know. I'll come up with
Yeah,
something that
yeah,
helps me remember their name usually. So, but
yeah. Well,
yeah.
and
So
you brought up oh,
keep going.
oh, I was going to say, as far as association goes, you brought up Reagan earlier, and there is a certain amount of association that Trump used in his slogan and his
I
logos
Yeah.
that really associated with Reagan.
I did not know that actually. That was kind of surprising to me because first of all, most people would attribute MAGA to Trump, but it turns out, and according to Trump, he did not know that that was actually Reagan's theme when he was running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and what wound up happening, got this in my notes here, is that people, let's see here, they because then the media, once they caught on to that, they talked about it and they wrote about it and they tried to criticize it. But in the end, what did you remember? That Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump had a similar vision. So,
and
um,
and Reagan had a pretty positive impact on a lot of people. People have positive memories, I believe.
yeah,
Um,
mostly, yeah. Some don't.
yeah,
I mean, some don't. But that's for them. But yeah, he was
yeah.
mostly a beloved president, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
and also Trump was an actor, Reagan was an actor. So,
yeah, exactly. So there was a word used in that particular type of association. I don't know if you recall that I thought was interesting when you take and basically try to associate your persona with somebody else's, and that was grafting. I thought that was an interesting
okay.
word. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
trying, because you kind of by association kind of take that other person's persona and you add it to your own kind of, I don't know, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, they say that you can do that with certain, like, fruit trees, like, you can graft a pear tree to an apple tree, or, and eventually, like, the limbs that grow, you could have a tree that technically produces 2 kinds of fruit when if you graft them together, and it takes a long time, but it's something that can happen. And so I've heard of that theory before, but not applied to persuasion.
Yeah, yeah. I'm anxious to dig a little bit more into that one. I think that could be a just a little topic all of its own in a way, because um, persuasion by grafting. Who'd have thought of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Attach
good.
yourself to, something, that has already a built-in good image. That
Exact. Yeah.
seems like a
Yeah.
good idea.
I think that we talked about that a little bit in our episode of it was our Super Bowl Sunday episode, and we watched a couple of commercials from previous Super Bowls, and how they did kind of like a persuasion by association in those, I think, if I recall. So we and I kind of miss doing that too. Sometimes in our earlier shows, we would kind of like go and grab videos and stuff like that, but and then kind of analyze them and talk about them, and kind of see what the persuasion was going on there. But there's just so much to do. It's hard to do all the things that we want to do in a show. We need hours and more
Yeah.
shows. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So we were talking a little bit about the association thing with Reagan, and then you mentioned, or I think I might have mentioned MAGA. Did you know all the things about what went into choosing that slogan, or like at least how that slogan is basically so powerful?
Uh, n Are you talking in my head? I'm thinking, well, it doesn't really define like what makes America great again. It kind of leaves it up to people to fill in the gaps,
Mhm.
or what are you talking about
Well,
specifically?
actually, it was more of the breakdown of each of the words in MAGA, because I didn't know any of this either. I thought it was kind of interesting, but what you said is also a good point as well. So don't forget that one. But the fact that each of those letters and words actually in MAGA are power words, powerful words, like actually in my notes here, and they're active words and they're words of dominance. So, and I'll go through these real quick. I just found them interesting. So, make is a creative word. It speaks of manufacturing and it speaks of jobs. America is the strongest brand ever. You're never going to have a brand stronger. And that's our identity. So, okay, America is our dominance and success word. And then lastly, again, that's a debatable word. Is America already great or, not so great? What, whatever, but it doesn't really matter because it's, you know, the other words basically do their job. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, that is great to think about. All the words used were very powerful. They even used red for the color, which is a power color. Uh, I remember uh, uh, Tiger Woods used to wear red on Sundays, which is like the final day of a golf tournament because he wanted to win, and it was like his power shirt.
Nice.
People wear red and associate red with, uh, progress or intensity, fire, you know,
Yeah.
energy. So it's
Yeah.
good.
Scott even spoke about that. He says they took MAGA and then they stuck it on a red hat.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and red is the color of boss. Red is just happened to be the Republican color, so that works. And then also action, dominance, and sex. It was like
there
it's
we
what he
go. Yeah,
said.
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that takes us then to the contrast, which was Hillary. What was her color?
Isn't the Democrat color blue, or did she use something different, like pink or purple?
She used pink. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, Democrat blue, and that would have been good, but not pink. Pink wouldn't have been good, and that's one of the problems with pink. I don't have a problem with pink. You see it in my background here, but pink. Um, some men are just going to have a problem with pink, you know. Um,
yeah,
so that was a
yeah.
mistake.
I used to have a shirt that said like "Real men wear pink," but
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
I used to have
a
a
lot
pink
of
shirt. Yeah,
yeah, I wear pink, but a
Pink
lot of
Floyd.
times, people do. Yeah, they'll relate pink with, oh, like right now I have a 1 month old baby girl, and it's like, yeah, everything she has is pink, so people relate pink with like baby girls kind of thing. Uh, Not that that's all it means or all it should be related to, but there will be a certain amount of guys that wear camo a lot that probably don't want to be associated with too much pink because
They
they
don't want
want
to.
to appear manly and
Yeah,
like
you're gonna put a
red
pink
is
sign on their
better.
yard, or,
Yeah,
put a
yeah, it's
pink
probably not
bumper
going to happen.
sticker or whatever. Yeah, unfortunate. It was
Yeah,
just an unfortunate mistake, I think. So
yeah,
doesn't
an oversight for sure.
right. And it's not saying anything about the candidate. It's what I'm speaking of, strictly campaign related and branding. So, um, the other thing is that comparing the "Make America Great Again" slogan to some of her slogans. So,
Yeah, which like I'm with her.
yeah. And once again, that might be a problem for men because it's very gender specific. Um, so, probably
And
maybe
you
not good.
can't ignore people's perception of things, no matter what you think of anything. ignoring the perception that is out there and that is real to other people is a complete misstep if you're trying to persuade people to join your side. You have to think about who are you trying to get to join your side. Like, sure, there's already people on your side, but you're not trying to get them to join your side because they're
Mhm.
on your side. So I
Yeah.
think the contrast was that uh, it seemed that Hillary, and the book kind of talks about this, is that it wasn't really persuasive to get people to switch sides and to join her. It was more targeted at people that were already on her side. So if you're looking for growth, you're
Yeah.
looking to try and get people to change from the other side to your side. And Pink and mentioning I'm with her, things like that, when you're trying to get a bunch of gun wielding farm owners to join your side, those are
Yeah.
not necessary. You have to be aware, and you have to accept that people have a different perception of things than you do, and that doesn't mean you're weak. That just is smart.
Right.
So if you ignore that, that's a big problem.
Right. And she may not have been able to get the gun wielding people, but she might have been able to get some of the people that were more middle, kind of on the fence, for sure. And I think one of the things that I thought interesting and pointed out is that when it comes to persuasion, sometimes, 5% it can make all the difference between winning and losing. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big deal. So every
Yeah,
little every little bit, everything you have to consider. It's crazy in politics for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about like the way you live your life and personal things. You're talking about a political game where you're trying to win, and if you don't win, then you disappear. Like that.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Pretty
Like,
much, yeah.
why not
Uh,
do everything you can to win? That doesn't make sense.
yeah. You mentioned that slogan, "I'm with her," and besides the gender part of it, which put that aside, the other thing that is, doesn't work is that it speaks to a single person. So instead of
Yeah.
a larger identity, so instead of being about America, it felt very much about her. So
Yeah. Yeah. And when you think about, again, the Clintons, it's like, do you really want to be associated with everything about them or her? Like, I
right.
don't I don't
Maybe,
think so. Yeah, there was no identity. We've talked about identity a lot when it comes to persuasion and like
mhm.
tribal thinking. And it's like, yeah, if you're Make America Great Again was speaking more of to the tribal identity of you're in America and you want to make it great. I think everyone can get behind that. Whatever it means, maybe we all think something different, but
Exactly, yeah.
it's easier to get behind something that's more tribal than just specific to one person. So yeah, yeah.
So that was an interesting take. Some of the other slogans, I think I'm ready for Hillary. Kind of feels a little smug. It's not very catchy. Um,
Yeah.
number
Yeah,
three was
did you he
oh, go ahead.
Scott talked about he thought that maybe there was a rat in her side on her side.
Yeah,
Are you getting to that? I don't want to jump too far ahead, but all these things are reminding me of the
I'm
thing that
glad you
he
brought it
called
up.
out about, like, is there someone intentionally uh like throwing, you know, or like losing or like making things really terrible for her? Because that's kind of what it seemed like.
Right. Yeah. I think when it came to the Twitter campaign, that there was a theory that Scott had. It was just like a recreational belief or theory, whatever you want to call it, that there was an actual mole working
A
within
mole, yeah.
because, yeah. And,
Yeah.
basically, whoever wasn't fixing things. They were just making it worse. So they probably figured that the mole didn't know, but that
Yeah.
Scott Adams was commenting
Yeah.
all that. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah. There's so much more here, but and I could talk about a few more of the slogans, but here was another one, and you kind of speaking of the Twitter, since we're already there, that they did on Twitter this campaign. The Clinton campaign did this, where it was imagine President Trump doing something bad or dangerous. And so, and the whole thing was they were trying to get you to imagine that maybe he's going to launch the nuclear weapons, or something. So they were basically trying to create this fear by saying, imagine President Trump in this situation or that situation, doing something bad or dangerous. And what happens, though, is that, first of all, people would put more emphasis on the first part of a sentence than the last part of a sentence or thought. So the first part of that was, imagine President Trump. Okay, so the failure there was that they were already starting to get you thinking about President Trump being president.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and then to add to that, what they wound up doing is that they wound up making the punchline part of their tweet something that you had to click the link on to go and see. So you would see, imagine President Trump, but then you wouldn't see the rest, and you'd have to click to see. And then when you did, you would see that it was something bad. And so people very quickly figured out that the link was something bad, and so they wouldn't click on it. So then instead, what they kept seeing was, imagine President Trump, imagine President Trump. And so their own messaging worked against them on that. It's incredible.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. I don't know what else you got that you wanted to talk about. Is there anything within that we haven't covered yet?
There's within the part 4, there's so much more, because
yes, there is.
They start talking about getting Godzilla in the game and who Godzilla is, which we're familiar with who Godzilla is. We've gone over one of his books already on our podcast.
Oh my.
But when they started using the word dark to put to paint Trump in a way of being dark, and the book, Scott talks about that being persuasion, and he mentions Cialdini's book about persuasion, and that he had a direct line of communication. Scott Adams would talk to Cialdini and like DM'd him and was like, "Are you helping Hillary?" And he neither would confirm nor deny, but they had a relationship where, like, technically, if he could say yes, he would have said yes. And the fact that he didn't say no meant that basically, yes, he's helping out, but he can't really talk about it.
How interesting. So I hadn't gotten that far in the book yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I see. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to jump too far ahead then. It's
a great tease for next week.
Yeah. Yeah, getting Godzilla in the game. I just kind of spoiled the whole thing, I guess. So, but we'll talk about it next week.
You didn't. I think what we're going to do is we're going to stick a pin right there, and then that's exactly where we're going to pick up in part 4 of part 4. So
okay,
yeah.
He drops so much at the very end of part 4. He just goes wild. Like he drops I think he drops 8+ persuasion tips. Talks about Godzilla. There's so many things that are coming up that we'll talk about.
Our hour-long show is nowhere near enough to cover all of that. So that's why we're doing all this multiple shows. It's great stuff. I love it, though. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the game utility fired up, but if we have time, if you're willing to, I've got some questions or rounds that are specifically about this.
I don't have it fired up. I'm trying to think. Is it Control?
Mm-hmm.
Let me log in real quick, and I'll do the I'll get it fired up.
Okay. So Steven's getting that going here. For those that are interested, we have a game that's very similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We call it Who Wants to Be a Persuader, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like trivia on crack for us. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm logged in. I see part 4, part 3, round 1 is available. So
okay. Well, I'm going to switch into this other mode here where we're kind of more off to the side, and then I'll switch our segment to the game segment.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Come on, baby. Ah, yes, there we go. And then once again, we'll have to do the sound effects tonight. I didn't have them loaded up.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's kind of fun that way in a way. I don't know. It makes it.
Yeah, it's more.
Makes it
it's
still
more
kind of like
way.
a homegrown podcast here, even with all of our technology. So.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, folks. Yeah. So this is what we do. We kind of do these together, and we play both host and contestant here.
Let's get started with question 1 of 10. So question number 1, Adams argues contrast is essential because people often decide by reading the longest white paper on the ticket, weighing every fact in isolation until certainty arrives, C, waiting for unanimous expert consensus, or D, comparing one choice against another, not parsing detached data alone.
Well, if I were hazarding a guess, I would take the choice that's like contrast. That would be D.
Yeah. Yeah. Mentioning contrast in the section about contrast is a good way to go. So comparing one choice against another, that's how people decide. Let's reveal the outcome. Oh, there we go. Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to turn censor mode off in case we get one wrong this week.
Oh, no.
Let's go to question number 2.
Likely.
Yeah. I think we could miss one. It's because I'm feeling rusty. Okay.
I told the computer to make us a trick question too.
Oh shoot! Okay.
So one of these questions is a trick question, and we don't know which one.
Oh, okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay. In session 3, VP picks are invisible variables mainly because A, the Constitution hides VP names until inauguration. B, voters never notice running mates on ballots. C, private unknowns, chemistry, scandals, willingness, make persuasion a weak predictor of the actual choice. Or D, pollsters refuse to ask VP questions. Okay.
Well, this already
Visible
is kinda...
variables.
Well, I would have to say that pollsters probably ask VP questions. So, but so that
probably not
that
D.
could be a trick. And I don't think it's B. I don't think it's A.
Yeah.
C is private unknowns, chemistry, scandals, willingness, make persuasion a weak predictor of the actual choice. Yes, I think C.
Yeah.
Sounds very good.
Okay. Let's lock it in and reveal the outcome. Woo! Ding, ding, ding. It went green.
All right.
Okay.
Hope everybody's enjoying this. We like this game. Go ahead.
Yeah. Question number 3. Persuade by association means ... A, banning all imagery from campaigns. B, letting feelings or status from one thing transfer to another. C, winning every fact check debate. Or D, proving a chain of logic syllable by syllable.
Well, we just talked about this one, and
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards a certain answer, but do you have any thoughts?
So I feel like B to me feels the strongest, talking about
Yes.
how one thing or transfers to another, and that in my head goes towards association is what that kind of describes. How
That
do you feel about
grafting,
that?
yeah, yeah. It
Grafting,
feels like,
yeah.
yeah. I think we should lock that in. I think B is the answer.
Okay, let's do it. Ding ding ding
You
ding
win.
ding! Woohoo!
All right.
It
You know
turned
what? Our homemade
green.
sound effects really aren't that great.
Yeah. What do you mean? I'm kidding. Okay,
All
I'm
right, so we've
stuttering.
got $3.
I'm lagging a little bit.
Stop at the $3. We could go.
We got this. Okay, question number 4. Adam says dogs in a campaign photo can help because they prove veterinary policy mastery. B, happiness association with the dog can transfer to the owner. C, only pet owners are legally allowed to vote. And D, they eliminate all contrast moves.
Well, I know the answer to this one, but because I wrote it down when I in my notes. But you go ahead.
I feel like associating the happiness that dogs bring in general, unless you've been attacked by a dog, which is like way less people than have good memories. Like, some people don't like dogs, but
yeah,
that's pretty rare. So I'm leaning towards B.
Yeah, for
Are you
sure.
feeling?
This wasn't directly. It wasn't directly what Scott said in the book, but what he did say is that. Well, first of all, he says the things that you think about the most become who you are. And so, if you want to think about positive things and happy things, then one way you can get a dog or have dogs in your life or go visit dogs or something like that because dogs are happy. So I think that would be B for sure.
Nice. Okay, let's lock it in and see what the outcome is. Woo!
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we haven't lost yet.
We're on a roll, man. On a roll.
Okay, and I can feel my computer slowing down. So if you're getting lag from me, I super apologize.
Okay, you can refresh the game if it helps your computer. It sometimes will help a little bit.
Okay, I'll try that after this question, halfway through.
Okay.
Okay, question number 5. Per Adams's tip that people are more persuaded by contrast than by reason means ... A, juxtaposition often beats argument density for mass audiences. B, reason always wins if the speech is long enough. C, contrast replaces all branding. And D, facts should never be used.
I hate that word, by the way. Juxtaposition.
Yeah, I don't use that one on a daily basis.
I don't either. And you know why I hate it is that pompous people that feel full of themselves do.
Really? Because it's a big word.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just how I feel. There's a particular podcast where the host uses that word very often, and it's just like, come on, man. It's like maybe once a show or whatever, but just
but like,
peppered all throughout. Yeah. But it's probably the right answer too.
I do feel like that it is the right answer just due to talking about how it beats argument density for big audiences.
All right. Well, we'll go with that. I'm willing to take a juxtaposition.
Ugh,
today.
that word. Let's see.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's correct.
So let me read it again. Okay. Juxtaposition often beats argument density for mass audiences. So
yeah,
take that for what it is.
Yeah. Okay, I refreshed and it didn't seem to
Didn't die.
screw anything up. So let's see if it helps my lag. Okay, the question number 6, we're getting through it. Celebrity endorsements work largely through ... A, replacing every policy brief. B, proving tax math automatically. C, borrowing frame and likability from the star. Or D, eliminating confirmation bias.
I'm pretty sure, unless this is a trick question, I think the answer is C.
I was thinking that too, because you're again associating borrowing the likability and the fame.
Okay.
Okay, let's lock it in.
Let's lock it in. Yes! Ding ding.
Did you see it go green? Oh, I'm still lagging here. Woohoo!
Are you lagging on your end? Yeah.
All right.
I think sometimes that happens. I think sometimes I'm ahead, sometimes you are. So sorry if I'm giving it away.
No, it's perfect. No problem. Okay, question 7. In the 2016 branding fight, Adams describes, MAGA leaned into A, replacing rallies with PDF libraries. B, a silent logo with no words. C, a country-focused identity frame. Or D, opponent-first naming with no contrast. We talked about this.
We did. Yeah.
I think we know the answer, but are you thinking
I would say C? Yeah. I think
having a country-focused identity frame.
I'm with you.
It's crazy how much sense it makes. I'm going to lock it in and reveal the outcome. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. All right.
We're on a roll. We're still on a roll.
We got $7 in our pocket now. We could take that, split a Happy Meal.
I don't know. I'm feeling greedy. I think we should go at least to 8.
All right. We'll go for dessert too.
Yeah. Okay, question number 8. First part, weighting in slogans refers to... Okay, let me read that again. First part, weight, WEIGHT, weighting in slogans refers to A, policy appendices printed before hats. B, the opening words grabbing disproportionate mental stickiness. C, only the final word being remembered. Or D, slogans needing exactly 10 syllables.
First part, waiting. If I remember, because we were just talking about that, I think just before the segment, because I was mentioning how they had screwed up with Hillary's thing, and they had Imagine Trump doing bad things, but the first part being Imagine Trump. So
yeah,
C would not be the answer because it would not be the final word being remembered. I don't think D makes sense.
Needing exactly 10 syllables doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And the printed before hats thing, policy appendices, doesn't make sense.
Yeah. B looks like a really good logical answer to me. The opening words grabbing disproportionate mental stickiness. Plus, it just sounds cool. Mental
stickiness is good too. Yeah.
All right. That's our final answer. And we
woohoo!
Ding, 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 ding.
We're doing so good.
$8 in our pockets.
We're going to have to use our...
It's $4 for yeah.
We got
to do a
lifeline.
We got to use one of... because we've got 2 questions left. We could split those across 2. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 9. Everyday marketing examples, decor, packaging, show association is A, general persuasion habit, not a Trump-only trick. B, weaker than any contrast move always. C, illegal in most retail settings. Or D, limited to presidential races.
Okay, so we're going to do our own 50-50 without actually using a 50-50.
Okay.
Because I think that C and D would be like easy to eliminate.
We could get rid of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what do they show that association is?
And
yeah.
Between A and B.
I mean, I like that.
Yeah. It's a general persuasion habit. Seems to me like A is the answer.
Yeah. It's not a Trump only trick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we willing to risk
it? See if we got it right.
Oh, hell yeah.
For the biscuit.
We didn't even have to use a lifeline, man. All right. So what that means is that we're on question 10 now. We're going for the full $10 bill. Who's on the $10 bill?
We are so good. Have we even been tricked yet? We haven't had a trick question, at least.
Not really.
We're so good.
Maybe this is. Maybe this is.
Okay. This is the last question. Mm-hmm. Warm up synthesis. Session 3 ties contrast, association, and slogans as tools that what? A, shape identity and feeling before dense policy sticks. B, work only when nobody uses social media. C, replace all voter contact. Or D, require perfect VP forecasts.
Okay. Well, I would say that if I were doing my own 50-50, I would probably eliminate C and D.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's go ahead and use our 50-50 to see which ones get eliminated.
Okay. Oh, it removed B too. Okay. So.
All right. So
I think that drives us to A.
It does drive us to A, but we could ask our audience.
Do you want to do that?
Oh, what the hell? Why not?
Why not? Okay. I'm going to arm the poll for 90 seconds. Get ready to help us out. If you would like to help us answer this question between A and D, because we already removed B and C, then go to vote.persuasion.club, and I'm going to start the countdown. That probably prematurely, because you need to go to open a new tab, go to vote.persuasion.club, and give us your vote.
Yeah, that's why we add more time to the counter, just to give people some time.
And the website is so easy.
Yeah, we tried to make it super, super easy. We'll see if we get some folks that are willing to help us out here.
Yeah. Vote.persuasion.club. And you could just go to persuasion.club, and there's also a way to vote through just the website, persuasion.club. But if you add vote before that, then you go directly to the voting.
Takes you right to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Voting is live.
Yeah. I think that we're not going to get any help tonight, is what I think. Yeah, that's all right, though. Not everybody is willing to jump in there and do that, or it could be something's broken, or it just could be that not enough people watching. We're lucky to
Yeah.
get everything. But I think we kind of know the answer, so we
I
probably
think
go ahead.
I think we were on to something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it
We are.
without
I
you
think we.
guys.
Yeah. Let's lock in A and reveal the final outcome.
Bum, ba,
Ding, ding, ding.
yeah. We get to eat and have a treat. Yes.
Good job, Kevin.
Well, thank you for hosting, Stephen, our persuasion game tonight.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I actually need to go back and turn this off. And so what we're pretty much at the end of the show now. I think we're ready to call it good and do a little after show if there's anybody that wants to hang out. I don't know if there's anybody there, but at least you and I can hang out and chat a bit.
Sounds good.
Well, but we go ahead and sign off and thank people for watching or catching the replay, however you did it. Thanks for always, thanks as always for putting up with those technical difficulties in the beginning. We'll try to get those stomped out. But until next week, we bid you farewell. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you for being here.
And once we got going, everything worked pretty well.
Yeah. That's all that matters is as long as you can take off, everything should go okay.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. All right, that is the end of the show, and we're now officially into the after show. Thanks, everybody. That was fun. I thought we did had a pretty good time. Here's a little information on how you can join us if you actually wanted to join via Rumble Studio. There is a way. Join.persuasion.club. Just go ahead and put that into your browser, and if you want, you just add your name in there, whatever else. Telling folks how to join us if they wanted to join in Rumble Studio.
All right. Hey, and Kevin, I was going to ask about how the conversation or how the connection with Akira the Don went. I need the story.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty simple. I don't know if Akira is watching or will catch the replay or not. But first, I wanted to say that Akira is just pretty damn cool. I really like him. I have been catching a little bit of his shows. He does some shows basically on the side where kind of like us. It's just but live mixing it up and playing songs and talking and all that kind of stuff. So I was checking him out there, and then of course they always play a an Akira song at the end of every Scott Adams School show. So
Okay.
yeah, but anyway, I wanted to make sure that things on our end looked good and looked professional. So I worked quite a bit on our station so that it would, look good and professional to him if he were to go and check it out. And then I sent him a DM on X, and I didn't get any response. But then I remember him saying once that he had a hard time or didn't always see his DMs. So I thought, well, maybe if I just make a comment somewhere that, hey, I messaged you in your DM or whatever, that you might pick up on it. And he did. So, and he read that and he just like basically immediately said, sure, of course. This is what he said, of course. Cool. Yeah. So, that's how it happened. So sometimes you just have to ask.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so true. Like, I feel like asking is, maybe more than half the battle, because if you don't ask for something, then people aren't, people might be really chill and say yes to things that you'd be surprised by, but you just have to ask. And I feel like the only problem with that is if you get turned down enough times, it can be discouraging to ask in the future. But as long as you're prepared for a no, there's no, if you don't ask, you'll never know what the answer could be. So uh it's smart to ask. That's nice work.
Yeah.
That's great that you did that.
Yeah, I would almost say like it's been kind of becoming a thing for me. I need to be a little bit more cautious about how I use it, but sometimes I throw caution to the wind. If I think about something too much, I'll find if I just do it before I've had a chance to really think about it, then it's like, well, it's out there. It's out there in the universe. Whatever happens, happens. The worst they can do is say no, and the best that could happen is they say yes. And so, but you can't use that philosophy on everything. Sometimes you can't.
And you do have to be careful. This is not what you did, but in my personal experience, there, if you become the person that always asks for something, uh, especially in like a certain social group, like your family or friends, you're always the one that's like, "Can I have this? Can I have that? Uh, can you give me this?" But you're never like uh offering anything in return. I feel like there is like a, even if it's just gratitude. Some people that I know that I'm related to will ask for everything and they rarely give gratitude back. It just is always like, give me, give me, give me. And eventually it's like, okay, I just don't want to talk to that person anymore because they're going to ask me for something. And, I don't necessarily need anything from them. So all that's happening is they are taking from me all the time. And so there is a balance. I feel like it is great, just for those listening that, maybe hear like, oh, you have to ask for what you want or what you need. I would also suggest, like, you know, within moderation, or try every once in a while not asking for something but offering something, so that way you're not always the person that's just asking. But when it comes to, like, asking for rights to play music, like, I mean, what could we offer, other than playing music on our podcast, which hopefully people listen to,
Hmm.
which then spreads the popularity. It's basically free marketing in a way,
Yeah.
for
Well,
that person.
I think that was also, and I forgot to mention that, but when I put the message out there, I mentioned that we would do this with full attribution, so that he knows
Nice.
that. And even though it's not currently set up, I'm actually working on making it so that it'll actually announce the song. So either before or after, there'll be an audio file that plays saying what the song is or was, so. Um,
Okay.
and then, of course, in the player itself, the titles and graphics and everything like that all have his branding and stuff like that too. I made sure of that. So, but yeah, it's a collaboration, really. It's kind of like what we're all about here at Persuasion Club, is that we're all about amplifying those that are involved in spreading the persuasion message, whether it's Scott Adams or Cialdini or
Yeah.
anybody else, Jeff
Yeah.
Callahan, So
No, I think that kind of stuff is cyclical, or there is like, hey, can we have the rights to play your music? We'll make sure to mention that it's you and that we're not going to take credit for your music. That kind of stuff is offering back immediately something in return
Mhm.
of, hey, this is hopefully, yes, your music, uh, like people know who Akira the Don is, maybe more than Persuasion Club, than they know who Persuasion Club is.
Yeah,
But at the
that's
at the
okay.
same time, there might be people listening to Persuasion Club that have never listened to Akira, and that might drive them to go listen to his music. So
Exactly. Reciprocity, reciprocity at
yeah,
work.
exactly. Yes, I
Yeah.
knew there was a word for it.
There
Reciprocity.
is.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. But yeah, I love it. And his music is just so catchy. My favorite song of all time is the Basket Case Theory. So, um,
I like that. Yeah, the
yeah.
Scott one where he's talking about how you think you're crazy, but the more you get to know people that you think have everything together, you start to learn that they're crazy too.
Yeah, pretty much. I like how the way that Scott described it is perfect, but then blended with the music on top of it. It just
Yeah.
and the music has a curiosity kind of part to it. So
Yeah.
but the way Scott would say like, oh, so on day one, no flaw or no, it was like um, you meet somebody, but then you a little bit later down the road, you're like, oh, there's a flaw there. I didn't see that flaw on day one, you know, and then
Yeah.
it turns out they had another flaw, and then
Yeah.
then it goes from there to, well, 2 years later, I guess we're all fucked up.
Yeah. That person's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's a
Yeah,
good I mean, theory is like a loose word because it's pretty true. So I don't know how to, at that point it becomes almost like fact.
yeah,
That like
yeah.
that's kind of how it works. And no, that
And
it's great. You know, you you've been in the past to church or things like that, but whenever like the pastor at a church says a prayer, it always makes an emotional difference if there's a piano player playing behind the pastor and
Mhm.
they start playing this like slow piano music, and it adds a certain level of emotion and power to that prayer. Now
Yes, it does,
granted,
doesn't
I
it?
don't go to church. I'm not still like active in any way or form with like really any church at all, but it always was kind of you know, somewhat of an inside joke of like, oh, when the pastor starts praying, they're going to play piano music, especially when it has to do with tithing or giving offering to the church.
Yeah.
You know, you want people to feel the power and feel emotion when the pastor's asking basically for you to give money to the church.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
maybe even so the prayer has the soft music, and then once the prayer is over and they start giving, then you go to some peppy music, and
Yeah,
more in a
yeah.
good mood now, and
Yeah.
and put my money
Yeah.
in, and
Yeah. Dude,
yeah, I know all
it's a
about that
mind game.
emotional
Yeah.
thing there, and I've seen it
Yeah.
in put to use, and it's manipulation. There is no other name for it. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they would call it persuasion, but
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think I will make a cartoon based on this, because I'm trying to imagine like what it must have been like before they had keyboards and synthesizers and or pianos or whatever, so back in
Yeah.
the Stone Age when they were doing a Stone Age church service. What did they
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Put it in bongo.
Start tapping on some rocks or something. Yeah.
How do we get people to give their stuff, man? They didn't have money back
Yeah.
then, so it was like they'd just get their stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, my stuff, man.
Here, I created a
Sorry.
wheel. Here's a wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. sweet.
Yeah. What's this?
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to. Uh, I think we got to have a bloopers show someday because some of this stuff. But when I was creating the graphic earlier for, okay, come on, yeah, go off. For the Scott Adams School, I kind of made a funny version. I don't play it here.
Okay.
Doesn't have any sound to it, but.
I like the Frasier signage.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, they actually used this thumbnail last Friday for the show. I had sent it to Erica about a month before. Yeah.
Oh, the fish.
Notice how the fish just still swimming?
And notice how Owen's face didn't like really change at all.
And he didn't change
stays
much, yeah.
stoic the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, the AI is kind of funny that way when it creates. Yeah, I think the fish even goes a little outside the bowl there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. And then yeah, the cat's like, oh shit, we swim.
That's great, man.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Good.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got another video to show real quick. A little more Rush.
Nice.
Doesn't it look like an amazing show?
Yeah.
I want to see this show.
When do you get to see? Yeah, when is that?
That is
or
October
about
10th
when
for
about?
me. Yeah,
October.
Yeah, up in Seattle.
Nice.
Yep, looking forward to that. There was I know I'm missing some videos that I was going to play earlier. Hang on a second here. Okay. Not that one. Maybe I played everything that I queued up, but I knew that there was some stuff that I thought would be kind of fun, and I obviously didn't get it in here. Oh, here it is. Well, this will be kind of a fun one. So, in a previous episode, we were talking about how Trump would do these things that would get memed, right? So, like, some of the things that he would say during a campaign or like during a debate or something like that were designed specifically to be sound bites. And do you remember when he was not in the 2016 campaign, but in the recent one, 2024, he was talking about the Springfield, Ohio, and all of the Haitians living there. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Mm-hmm.
And how they were eating the dogs and cats. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah. And so, and I don't think it's any mistake how he crafted and how he said it, because then it got memed. It got turned into a meme. And like, here's an example of that.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
People of Springfield, please don't eat my cats. Why would you do that? Eat something else. People of Springfield, please don't eat my dog. Here's a catalog of other things to eat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs.
Oh my gosh.
They're eating the cats.
Oh man.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Oh man.
Springfield.
Oh, it's a good play it
They're eating
again.
the dogs.
That's so good.
Anyway, yeah. So that's something to think about. Make your persuasion memeable.
Yeah.
Make it a quotable. Make it, something that somebody can do something with, but not do something bad with, right?
Yeah, I feel like some people can take any sort of press, whether it's positive or negative, and turn it into a positive or for their benefit. Because I feel like I do remember that whole situation, and I watched some videos of people that went to that area and they filmed like, what's going on in this area. Like this was brought up, like, is this really happening? And some like basically like YouTube people that do things like that where they cover like social situations or political things like went there, and there wasn't much of a sign of cats and dogs being actually eaten, but that is something that might happen in the country these people were coming from. It was more of like the issue. I don't know if you watched much about like anything that was happening there, but there were like hundreds of people that were like getting in line at the DMV, and people in that area like could not get anything done because there was just this influx of people that needed so much help, or they couldn't speak English, and
Interesting.
they had to like, they were basically uh treating these people and putting them in the same lines as the people that live in that city. So people found it like, this is impossible for me to like do my normal everyday stuff now, because there's so many people that are here that don't speak the language. They are behaving differently than you would expect them to in the States. And it was like really disruptive to people's lives. So I do remember that whole situation kind of was really a big problem. And I do
Yeah.
remember the eating the dogs and cats meme, because that was ridiculous. That was crazy.
So, what's so cool about being part of the Scott Adams universe and the Scott Adams School now is that they have so many cool guests, and one of them being Joshua Lysek. He was on just last week. He's Scott's editor. He's a ghostwriter. He's written like a ton of books. He's the best selling author. And happens to actually live about, I think he said about 40 minutes away from Springfield, Ohio. So he's actually been able to make it over there and check things out and stuff like that. And so, and there had been a lot of debunking about supposed debunking about things like that, the dogs and the cats or whatever. And one of the things that he said that I thought that was kind of interesting is that they think that actually there was like a misunderstanding of some of the reporting, and that it wasn't dogs and cats they were talking about; it was ducks and cats, because they were eating a lot of the fowl, so ducks and other large birds and stuff like that, I think is what they were saying. But it got mistranslated. But yes, cats too. And he's got the interviews. He's talked to the people who've actually witnessed and seen it. It's all true. It's absolutely true, because it's normal for Haitians. It's what they do is way different than how we act in America. So,
I mean, yeah, that goes for like most other countries. I've been to a few, and most, because this has come up recently, where like people just they have this like ideal about the rest of the world outside of the United States, and we're talking about people that live in the US, have this like really weird, not sure they're coming up with it maybe because they're tourists. Like if your only experience in another country is going to an all-inclusive resort, you're not experiencing that country. You are a
yeah,
tourist experiencing a tourist attraction. If you go 10 minutes away from that all-inclusive resort and to the place where people are really living in that country, and it's like kind of the way it is there, it can be wildly different than what you're, and it most of the time is wildly different than what you're experiencing at a resort, or when you get off your little cruise ship at a port in wherever. Like that is not reality. That is a tourist
yeah,
experience that you're getting. And it's like, if you, yeah, I've been to a few other countries and been able to go off the beaten path, and it is eh, a lot of times it's really there's a lot of, it's really
like what a
sad what you
shithole.
see. Well, yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, literally, there are like people have to shit in holes because they don't have running water and they don't have electricity, and things are not amazing there for for most of the people that live there.
Yeah,
So yeah, like eating a cat or eating ducks that you can just like basically find locally, like that might be all people have the access to eat. And it's
yeah.
like, yeah, so that's, they do that. It's
And
like,
it was actually something that was happening here in Eugene too. We had some of that going on, and even like the so one of the things that has been happening is that a Haitian will go and rent an apartment, but then they'll sublet it out to like 10 other people. And I think there may be even like multiple sublets on top of that.
oh,
So like they're doing like all this crazy stuff, trashing houses, eating ducks and cats. Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty
I mean,
bad. And the story is far more interesting than that. But for more than we can go into tonight. But Joshua has written a book called "The Haitians of Springfield." And
oh,
I think
really?
yeah, a pretty interesting title. And he just did a presentation in Springfield the other night, which I don't know if it's online or not, because a lot of people wouldn't go because they don't want to be outed. It's pretty
Oh,
strange, the politics of Springfield right now. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So
Well, the things I've never been to Ohio, so I can't speak from personal experience, but in general, without there being, you know, anyone from any other country, Ohio does not have the best reputation. And uh, a lot of people in general speak very lowly of a lot of places in Ohio. And
yeah,
so the to have anything happen that lowers the standard of living in a place where the standard might be kind of low already, it might be really disruptive. Hey, cheers.
filling it with one of my favorite liquids. This is not coffee. No, this is good conversation. We haven't had good conversation like this in a while. You usually do this kind of stuff at work, but
Seriously, I miss it, man. It's
yeah,
been
same.
this was 4 weeks. I've been out of work, or I've been gone from work. I'm not out
Yeah.
of work, but Been gone for 4 weeks. Feels
Yeah.
crazy.
It's so boring without you there, man. I'm telling you.
Oh man, it
Yeah.
you're inflating my ego.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well,
that's
I mean,
good to hear in a
I've met
way.
Dennis, but Dennis, we've had a bunch of flip flops in our days, and we've, I think all last week we didn't see each other.
Oh
So
man.
yeah. But yeah, sometimes it goes that way. But
Yeah. Well, hey, it's been
yeah,
a
I was
good
going to
evening,
say it's
and
probably about your time. Probably go time to be
yeah, I
with the
gotta cook some
family.
dinner.
Oh,
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah,
What are
I
you
can
cooking
hear
us?
little cries happening.
Okay. There was one more video that I was going to play, and I must not have put it in the right place. No, not that one. So I'll just have to put some music on for us to bounce out to. Um, how about we go ahead and do this one? All right, Stephen and I are going to go. Please enjoy this tune. And now we're signing off after show's over. So
All
thanks,
right.
everybody. And
Until
I'll talk
next
to you
week.
later, Steve. We'll catch up tomorrow
I'll talk
morning.
to you later.
Okay.
Sounds good. See ya.
Another day, fake great jobs, and meetings moving slow. The printer jammed like 7 times, the Wi-Fi died at 3, and somehow every problem here still gets blamed on me. My last good nerve just hit the wall. They said just smile, yeah, not at all. I bit my tongue, I paid the toll. Now watch me take back full control. Let that shit go, let that shit go. Can't carry this crap anymore. Let that shit go, let that shit go. Turn around and slam that door. I don't care what they're gonna say. Let the drama rage on. Their nonsense never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some people think they're living in my brain. Like rent is due, but guess what, boo? You're getting evicted today. It's time to see what I can do to test my limits and break through. No more, please, and may I now. I know my worth. I take the burn. Let that shit go. Let that shit go. Watch me rise and steal the show. Let that shit go. Let that shit go. I'm done caring, don't you know? Here I stand and here I'll stay. Let the chaos roll on. I just reframed my pain away. My patience spirals through the air like glitter in a fight. My give a damn clocked out at noon and never even said goodbye. No guilt, no shame, no strings on me. This is my new philosophy. Let ashes. The past is gone, it's out the door, not dragging chains anymore. Turns out freedom feels this way. Should